Yesterday, we talked about how Ubisoft canceled its online appearance at Tokyo Game Show, and how Insider Gaming then reported that they also canceled all upcoming press previews for AC Shadows. This made it look extremely likely that they were going to then potentially also delay the entire game too. And sure enough, today, that news is breaking. Assassin's Creed Shadows is delayed into 2025. Will launch on Steam on day one. PC Gamer adding that this is possibly the biggest blow for Ubisoft yet. More specifically, it was originally supposed to launch on November 15th, and now they're claiming February 14th, 2025. On top of all that, we have another breaking news situation here. 3 hours ago, Game Rant wrote, sales of Star Wars Outlaws fell short of Ubisoft's expectations, reportedly leading to a drop in stocks. The lukewarm performance likely impacted the release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, which was delayed to 2025, and Ubisoft plans to address feedback and release updates for Outlaws, aiming for better success. That information coming from this document that Ubisoft released, titled Ubisoft Updates Its Financial Targets for the year 2024 through 2025. And yeah, as you can see, that was just released on September 25th, that being the time of recording today. More information on the delay can be read right here. They say Assassin's Creed Shadows will now be released on February 14, 2025, while the game is feature complete. The learnings from Star Wars Outlaws release led us to provide additional time to further polish the title. This will enable the biggest entry in the franchise to fully deliver on its ambition, notably by fulfilling the promise of our dual protagonist adventure, with Naui and Yasuke providing two very different gameplay styles. We are departing from the traditional Season Pass model. All players will be able to enjoy the game at the same time on February 14th, and those who pre-order the game will be granted the first expansion for free. And then on Star Wars Outlaws, they say, additionally, despite solid ratings, Metacritic 76, and user scores across the first party and Epic Store set 3.9 out of 5, that reflect an immersive and authentic Star Wars universe, Star Wars Outlaws' initial sales proved softer than expected. In response to player feedback, Ubisoft's development teams are currently fully mobilized to swiftly implement a series of updates to polish and improve the player experience in order to engage a large audience during the holiday season to position Outlaws as a strong long-term performer. The game will be available on Steam on November 21st. So yeah, in my opinion, it looks like Ubisoft is starting to get very, very desperate. Further evidence would be indicated over at Park Place, where they write, Ubisoft CEO Statement, who I'm pronouncing wrong again, I'm sure. I forgot to say it every time. Anyways, claims company's goal is, quote, not to push any specific agenda, and they say despite the company's website saying otherwise. In a press release where Ubisoft revealed it was revising its expected Q2 net bookings down from 500 euros all the way down to 350 to 370 million euros due to poor sales from Star Wars Outlaws, along with announcing a delay for Assassin's Creed Shadows, Guillemot first revealed the company was going to launch a review of itself. He said, in the light of recent challenges, we acknowledge the need for greater efficiency while delighting players. As a result, beyond the first important short-term actions undertaken, the Executive Committee, under the supervision of the Board of Directors, is launching a review aimed at further improving our execution, notably in this player-centric approach, and accelerating our strategic path towards a higher-performing model to the benefit of our stakeholders and shareholders. He then concluded his remarks with this. Finally, let me address some of the polarized comments around Ubisoft lately. I want to reaffirm that we are an entertainment-first company, creating games for the broadest possible audience, and our goal is not to push any specific agenda. We remain committed to creating games for fans and players that everyone can enjoy. He then repeated this prepared remark word for word during the company's trading update call. However, this is an obvious lie, as Ubisoft's website makes it very clear that it does have a specific agenda. On the company's Diversity, Inclusion, and Accessibility page, a statement from Arashi Sika, Ubisoft's Vice President of Global Diversity and Inclusion, says, for Ubisoft, putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do means providing an environment where employees can thrive, building open-minded communities where players can connect, and creating games that reflect the diversity of the world we live in. We will not accomplish all these goals overnight. Just as it takes years for iteration to develop a AAA title, we will only become a more diverse and inclusive company by continuously improving, trying new ideas, and learning from the results. It's a long-term commitment, one that we will tackle with the same passion and dedication that we bring to our games, she adds. The same passion and dedication that they bring to their games, yeah, I'm sure that's going to go well then. But as mentioned, they did say, putting diversity and inclusion at the heart of everything we do. Meanwhile, Guillemot's like, oh, we have no agenda, guys, seriously. Furthermore, the site declares, we want to build the most creative, inclusive, and diverse teams across all fields. We will continue to increase representation in our company by building more inclusion across our systems and ensuring equal access to opportunities for everyone. Yeah, from the same company that openly discriminates against men. Continuing, they assert, we will create gaming experiences that push representation forward by embedding diversity and inclusion across our processes, increasing representation in our teams, and offering access to resources that help teams to build more authentic, inclusive, and accessible gaming experiences. We will set the standard for inclusion for our... We will set the standard for inclusion for our teams, players, and partners, and will collaborate with leading organizations to expand our knowledge, grow our reach, give back to the community, and champion inclusion in our industry. And I laugh because all I see here when I read this is, we are trying to appeal to ESG funds. I mean, seriously, to me, that's what this word vomit is, and I apologize for using somewhat gross terminology here, but like, how many times are they just going to repeat, oh, we're really diverse and inclusive, guys? Seriously, we really are. Once again, to me, it's just like desperately trying to appeal to ESG, and that's been backfiring on them so much. Like, they're just losing money and their stock's plummeting. It's all going so poorly that, as we read mere minutes ago, the CEO makes this new statement in the financial document that I showed earlier in the video too, where he's like, let me address the polarizing comments. I want to reaffirm that we're an entertainment company. We really don't have an agenda. We just want to make games for fans and players. So here's my theory for AC Shadows and why it's being delayed. I think that, yeah, they're probably trying to make it less buggy after seeing the disaster that Outlaws was with so many bugs. Although it's still like shocking that they would even release Outlaws in that state. Like, why are they just now acting like it's a bad thing to do? Surely they should have known that to begin with. I mean, this is a company that's been around for plenty of years now and is one of the largest gaming companies in the world. So the whole thing's weird, but whatever. So yeah, they probably want to polish it some more. But also, here's something they didn't mention. I think that the goodwill for Ubisoft is so astronomically low right now that they're also worried about that. They think if they release AC Shadows now in the state that it's in, plus the current state of the public opinion of Ubisoft being as negative as it is, that they're setting themselves up for disaster. Now they have a few more months to try and like recover goodwill and turn public opinion a bit more positive, make the sentiment a bit more positive in their direction. And they're hoping, you know, when they release it now in February 2025, apparently, if they don't delay it again, that maybe by then they could have won some people back. And they're starting with this whole statement from the CEO where he's like, guys, we really don't have an agenda. The thing is, I think most people are going to see through their lies and know better than to believe them. They're clearly more desperate than ever right now. They're going to say whatever they need to. On top of all that, they also now have this internal review going on, something that we brushed over very briefly earlier, and we'll read just a little bit more here from GameRant. They say, Ubisoft is launching an internal review of its internal practices. The investigation is meant to help it identify the reasons for some of its recent struggles. Ubisoft's stock is currently at a decade low, with the company just announcing its Q2 performance failing to meet expectations, much like the Q3 sales of Star Wars Outlaws. This also, of course, follows the news from just a few weeks ago, where a major investor in Ubisoft, that being AJ Investments, demanded that the CEO Yves gets replaced, among other changes that they want to happen at the company. In other words, the internal strife at Ubisoft seems to only be getting worse as of this whole internal probe that's now also going on. So I will leave it there. That's all the Ubisoft updates, man. Crazy stuff. Still plenty of entertainment to be had from this company, it seems, and surely we'll continue following as we near February and see how that all plays out too. Let me know what you think about all of this news in the comments, especially Yves, the CEO, claiming that they really don't have an agenda. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Appreciate you. Consider liking and or subscribing if you enjoyed my coverage, and I'll see you in the next one.